Hey, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to Corbellic Studios. We're back on another live painting. We're going to be knocking some paintings out. I'm going to be doing the remainder of the 12 by 16 canvases that we have. And then I'm going to also be switching out between the 16 by 20 because I want to paint a little bit larger today. Today is my Friday. It's Thursday. This is the day where I'm done doing a lot of the content creation. I'm done doing the live stream. And look, we're already here on Thursday. It went by really quick. All right. We did this together. We did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. Today's Thursday. We're going to pump out some more. I really appreciate all the likes, all the support that I've been getting on the comments, on the live feed, in the community, from the members, in the coaching. It's just been a lot. And I mean, it's a lot different from shooting content with a camera where it's just me doing it and then I edit it later compared to us doing it live now. I feed off of the energy of you being in here. So I appreciate it. Give the likes on this video. Make sure that you support me that way as well. But also, you can also leave me some super chats that you appreciate. Buy me a coffee. That way, you're also supporting the production, the canvases. You're supporting your favorite artist. All right. So let's get into this right now. I got some references that I threw up real quick into my work folder of what we're going to have for the day. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what the paint is going to be, but I know that it's just going to be really a fun day. We're going to be pumping it out. And I treat my Thursdays or whatever the last day of the week is. I treat it like it's my last painting, you know. I'm super excited. I already got my exercise in for the morning. I'm like worked up, my adrenaline's going. I'm really excited because every painting is just like it's a new start, but also it gives me time where I'm excited where I get to refresh. All right. So make sure also yourself a schedule, or even you can even work with me on a one-on-one for an hour or whatever. We could come up with a schedule for you where you can make sure that you put out enough work on the days that you are able to work or whatever your schedule is. We can work through it together. And then we could also go over the days that you could take a break. But that way your store is still moving. You still have action that's going on. You still have stuff that is going to be listed on your store. It's just that you showed up and you worked so much on the days that you're supposed to work where it overflows into the days that you need to take a break, because taking a break is important. All right. So let's do some painting right now. Let's get it done. Also, again, like I said, it really helps me that you support this channel. You give some likes, you give some super chats in there. It lets me know that this is still working or that I'm going in the right direction, because this is new that I'm doing this live streaming. So it's real easy. I'm human as well, where it's real easy for me to get in my mind to think that, oh, it's not working, oh, people don't like it, oh, they don't enjoy it, or I'm talking too much, or I'm talking a little, or I'm talking not or not enough, or anything like that. So it's just easy where even though I've done so many paintings, afterwards I'm kind of like mentally exhausted and I'm like, oh well, I start thinking, I start overthinking. But then I take a power nap, right? Get online, and then I see where my members, they're like, hey, you really helped me today. You really helped me with the showing how you're able to work throughout your day on your paintings. I was able to paint with you. Now I'm a little bit faster. You helped me go through this flow because I was kind of hung up. So when I hear things like that, even on the back end, it really puts adrenaline in me, and it helps me just really show up. You know, it really helps me show up to know that I'm helping people where we're painting together, and you could just see kind of how my mind is working when I'm creating paintings, and that I don't take it that serious, neither should you. But at the same time, we are still being creative. That's the way how you could be creative, and that's the way you could get the best out of your work, also the best out of your life. Is not to put too much energy and try to control things out of it, because we can't control any of this, and we don't leave with it. All right. So I think I have all my paint ready. Here, let me add a little bit of a yellow on here because I'm a little bit less on that. Look, I just go straight into it like that. I grab the yellow and I go straight right into it. Now, a trick is, if you want your yellows to be a little bit strong, just a little bit like more pungent, so you don't have to, where it's not translucent and it's not see-through, because yellow has that problem. Add a tiny bit of white to it. Add a tiny bit of white to your yellow, and then it'll be stronger. It won't be so translucent where you have to do double layers or triple layers or anything like that. But other than that, I'm looking at my palette right now, and I think we're just ready to rock and roll. You know, like Picasso says, run out of blue, I use red. Run out of red, I use blue. Let's see what we have on the comments today. Let's see here. Hey, Sally Mae, back again. Love the community. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody being here. Hey, what's going on, Jim? Awesome, man. Glad everybody's here. Here just heating up something to eat. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Student grade yellow is crap. Well, I mean, that's the trick. That's the trick about the yellow is like, because yellow, only people who I know who do yellow properly, but it's expensive, is Golden Brand. I mean, because yellow is just one of those pigments where it's an expensive pigment to get right. So you can even buy a cheap yellow, right? Like I could get a yellow from like Blix, and only thing you have to do is just add a little bit of white to it, and then it's going to make it strong. You know what some of the masters used to do, and they still do, is they add a little bit of starch to it. No, yeah, starch, either starch or baking powder. Yeah, baking powder or starch. They would add that to it just to make it a little bit more thicker, more dense, and then you could do that as well. But really, I don't even do that because that's just too much like alchemy. I just go with a little bit of white, and then it's going to make it strong. All right. So we have everybody here. I appreciate everybody. Leave the likes on there if you haven't already. Let YouTube know that we're rocking and rolling. And let's get this going. All right. Our first painting right here is going to be a beautiful, beautiful horse. A beautiful, beautiful horse. Right? Because everybody loves horsies. All right. Let's get into this. And I'm going to do the background like a bluish purple. All right, look, let's do our time off right now. There's our time. Now, what I'm excited about is tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to go into the live streams of what we shot over the past 4 days, and then I'm going to cut some certain segments up or important parts of what we were talking about. I'm going to chop those up into like 30-minute seggies. And then whatever the topic is on that, that's what the video title is going to be. You know, whatever we were talking about. And then it's going to make it, I think that's going to be cool because there's times where we have videos, right? And it's not really so much about what the art is, it's about the topic or things that we're talking about that's interesting. And I could be able to hone in because a lot of times when I'm making the titles or thumbnails for a video, like when I was shooting it before, like when I had to edit them, I don't know what the topic was going to be for the video where there's not a main topic. But now we have certain points where we have main topics that we're talking about, and we could just chop it up. I could chop it up into the 30-minute seggies and then call the video that. That way people could relate to that instead of me saying, I'm painting a horse. I'm painting a, after a while, those thumbnails get boring and tiring where it's like, all right, you're painting a cow, you're painting a whatever, instead of the topic, what we're talking about. Let me dry this off. Hey, Trudy. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were here yesterday and that you enjoyed it. I appreciate that so much because I was just saying how being a creator on here where it's like I'm painting, but I'm also talking and I'm entertaining and I'm reading at the same time. Afterwards, I'm human. I get mentally exhausted, or I start second guessing myself, which is crazy. And then when I take a power nap, then I'm like, oh, okay, it was actually good. And then especially when I get comments from members who are like, it was amazing, you helped me. So that always helps. Just trying this off. I love this color in the background. We're off to a good start. Boom. All right, so now I'm just going to take the 1-inch brush out and I'm just going to go straight into the sketching. None of that drawing stuff, none of that other stuff. It takes too long and then you get exhausted. It all adds up. So let's do this. Look, boom. See how I'm doing this? Going straight into the sketching. The areas that are dark, I use it for the black. Look, like just like that. And then later on, we can layer that up if we need to. We could put other colors on top of it, but it just adds to the foundation. Boom. All right, let's see here. Let's do the eye and do this part. Let's do the nostril, the ear. So any part that's like whatever the shadow is or parts that's too dark, I go in with those areas with the black or a darker color. It could be even a darker purple, it could be a darker red. All right, let's do this. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there's no right or wrong. That's what we always talk about, right? Whatever the art is, it's going to find itself. Whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen. Can't control it. I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was younger, we used to when we were being taught cursive, because that's how we grew up, right? I don't think kids nowadays are taught cursive, how to have great handwriting or calligraphy. And we were taught cursive, and I remember it used to kill me until I had the cursive right, like my hand and hand-eye coordination and everything was right within the letterings. And I used to spend hours and hours just trying to get my cursive right because my grandmother, she had beautiful handwriting. Don't all grandmothers for some reason have beautiful handwriting, right? Or most grandmothers, right? They used to have beautiful handwriting. Well, because they come from a different era, but she had beautiful handwriting. And I used to want to have my handwriting just as beautiful as hers, or even like my mother's. And I used to just it used to kill me that I couldn't that you could see something that you want to do with your hand, but it used to kill me that the body doesn't do what the mind wants it to, what the mind sees. And it used to just drive me insane. And it's kind of the same way of what we're titling this video, why the projector is better than talent, because we're all talented. We're all talented. It's already inside of us because we were born that way. But the projector helps you just as a tool to get along with what you're trying to do anyways. So for example, why would I spend time racking my brain on how to get a hand right? Or you need to know how to draw a hand. People go to art school for that and they spend so much time trying to figure out how to draw a hand when you could just use the projector. Well, no, you have to know how to do it in case a plane crashes, God forbid, and you're lost in the forest and you don't have a projector nearby, and you need to know how to freehand drawing a hand in the forest alone, like stuff like that. Like, just all kinds of weird anomalies. It's kind of like telling a kid nowadays that not to use AI. Why? Or not to use a calculator. It used to kill me. Like, why can't I draw? Why can't I do cursive? I mean, now I could do, cursive because I work so hard on it, and I have great handwriting. And I'm pretty sure most of us, if we really spent the time, we could actually draw a hand or paint or whatever the thing is. But why not use the tool to already get there? Because let's just say you actually spend the time anyways to draw that thing out, and oh no, you have to erase it. You have to, like, how many times do people when they freehand stuff, they actually have to go back and erase their mistakes I don't erase anything. It's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be there. I'm not erasing anything. I'm not going backwards. But people go backwards when they're freehanding or when they're not using the projector. And then they say to themselves, well, you have to understand where the reference is at of the shadows when the sun is in this direction from the east. People, I mean, that's what makes things so boring for people. And they feel like they're not an artist because they were told that they have to do everything by hand. How someone else said that they're supposed to learn to do it or what art is. But who's to say that that's art? That's maybe your form of art. I think that's a lazy form of art of you having to do that because then you're just relying on pretty much academics and what you've learned instead of you being creative and it's already there with you. Well, that's not right because you didn't learn it. You have to grow up and you have to be a serious adult and then you have to learn these skills first to consider yourself to be an artist. Like, could you imagine somebody telling you that you're not an artist because you didn't grow up yet and you didn't fill out an application so that you could do academics and you didn't learn from a professor? Well, my professor would frown on me for using the projector, and then I would get kicked out of class. That's why I say that you don't have to have any kind of formal art school teachings. It's okay to use the projector and no one can say anything different. The buyer doesn't care. The buyer wants the results, not the method. So some people are so caught up in the method because that's their ego being caught up into it. I remember on one of my earlier videos, we watched the Vermeer trailer together, where it's a documentary about how they found out that the famous artist Vermeer, how he used a form of a projector, but he was using a mirror. And there was an artist in there who was older. I mean, this guy looked like he was like 80 years old, 70, 80 years old, right? And the director who found out the secret to how he did it, he goes, I followed his method and I was able to do it in 40 minutes. And I don't have any formal art school lessons, art school trainings. And then the professional artist who was like 70, 80 years old, he goes, oh, well, good for you. It took me 40 years to figure that out. Like, do you think there's some kind of nobility in that? There's no nobility in that. There's no reward for you in that. There's no, you think what? That you get higher points for it from who? You're not going to go to heaven or hell from finding your shortcuts, especially when it comes to using art. Oh no, that's expensive. Do Artograph projector? What's the difference between a $120 one and a $700 one? No, I don't use no. Those are crazy expensive, and those aren't type of projectors that I teach for my members to use. You don't need any of that type of stuff. That's crazy. That's expensive. Who's got money like that just so you could do that? That's expensive. I would never advise anybody to spend $100 on a projector, especially not $700. I mean, you might not even get that investment back. I mean, you will, but you don't know that. And there we go right there. Look, I'm done with this horse. I'm done with him. He's beautiful. I don't need to do anything else. You know what? Actually, I will. That's awesome to hear. My projector was only $30 on eBay. Yep. I'm gonna do this. And the reason is you have some artists who don't like the notion of us using a projector is because then you're included in the gatekeeping of what they were convinced that they had to do. They're upset that they were fooled into wasting their time. And me, what I'm all about more than anything, if you really know me, is that I'm all about you saving your time because time is worth more than money. Time is everything. And we've already wasted enough time in our lives on things that we can't get back, but we can get it back by finding the shortcuts and getting your money. When it comes to feeding your family and providing, and you think your family cares if you use a projector or if you didn't when you're creating the artwork and you're getting it out there? Only people who care stuff like that is people who are trying to gatekeep and they don't want you in the circle of selling art. But these people aren't even selling art. I'm just doing something simple, like a background like this. It always looks nice, but you don't have to, right? Something like that. What you think? Boom. I love it. I'm in love. Yeah, I use a stronger one. Mine's was I got mine's on sale on Amazon. I think it was around the time when we had the Black Friday. I use a Pan Seba, and it's in the link in the classroom. But I use a Pan Seba, but also even if not, I have a video of it on YouTube where I open up the my new projector and you can see it on there. It's the Pan Seba, and it is so much better than my last projector. It's so much strong. I love it. Look at this. Oh, come on. This is our first painting. You understand what I'm talking about here? You understand? We did this in 12 minutes. So look, if I can do it, you can do it. We just knocked this out. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And it's so much fun. Ah. All right, on to the next. Like, who wants to take all this time to be like, I got to draw out my reference first, and then I got to sketch it onto the canvas, and then I got to erase my canvas with a pencil and eraser, and then after that, I got to draw. I got to go. Like, if you do stuff like that, everything is like an academics. I think people who paint like that, in my personal experience, I think it's the same as people who do those it's like what they have for those kids where it's like follow A B C D. Where they have the lines already drawn for them, like those coloring books, right? And they tell them which ones to color first, A B C D. It's like the same thing. It's like academics. Instead of we use the projector as a tool so we could just be creative and do whatever we want. Like, we're not doing the same thing. I definitely don't talk about that of doing the same thing. I'm talking about using the projector to we just have the proportions so we can make whatever kind of color we want or whatever kind of design we want off of that. One of the tricks that I do on my easels, and I wish I would have done this at the beginning, and you could do this too, it'll save you time, is that on the wood, I I tape I tape the wood with the eBay tape. So I tape the easel because I paint so much the paint will build up on the wood and it'll be hard for you to peel off the paint. But it's easy for you to do it if you just have the tape. You could just peel the paint off of the tape, or you could just easily just take the tape off completely and then just put another piece of tape on. But for sake of us on live right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to peel it off the tape. That way you don't damage your easel as well. But like it gets to be a point where there's so much paint on here where it's just easier to peel it off the tape. You see, this is a like the tape makes it easier for it to peel off. You can see where it says the eBay on there. It's the eBay tape. So that's just a little trick. What I used to do before on all my previous easels, I used to like take a knife and have to scrape off the paint. And then after a while, you would just have so much easel left because you're just scraping it off that paint with that knife instead of doing it this way where it's the tape underneath. I just put the tape there. Now, how I do it as well is I like to have the easel part sitting on top of the canvas. And then I put a heavy book bag on the back with a weight in it that's holding down the canvas on the top. The reason why is because even when I screw this part in, it's not strong enough to hold the canvas in place. And then what happens is after a while, this thing I paint so much, this thing gets it's like withered. And then after a while, it doesn't work and it's not strong enough. I don't put it into the easel like this because then I I can't paint the top like I need to. I want to be able to paint the whole canvas. So it like I can't paint the top and I can't paint the bottom. So the only way how was I put it on the lip of it, the lip on the top and the bottom, if that makes sense. So I just do it like that. I push it up and then the weight is on it. It's not going anywhere. It's locked in place. And that way I can paint the whole canvas instead of that lip being in the way. So that's how I do my easels. I know everybody else's easel is different, but just a quick breakdown. All right. So on this painting right here, we're going to do a tennis shoe. We're going to do a tennis shoe with flowers out of it. I know that you watch my videos, you probably see me do a similar painting. Like I said, I'll take references that I've done before, and I have no problem going in to do the same type of painting or a different variation of it. And you can do that. Don't always try to recreate the wheel, thinking that every reference that you have or every painting that you have you could only use that reference once or you could only use heck no. You're going to feel so much better about yourself where you'll say to yourself, hey, there might have been a successful painting that you've done before. Do it again. It's okay. All right, let's do a little bit of purple in here for the top or just boom. I love that. I love where it's like if I have a creamy color and then I'll take a heavier color and then I'll just like do heavy brush strokes through it, through the painting where it leaves its mark. And I'm not blending it at all. I just leave it there. That looks good. And now I'm going to dry it off. Do you do returns on eBay or no policies? Join the elite, join my coaching, and then I have everything broken down for you on that. I explain everything on there, how to set up your account. That's one of the first courses that you'll learn. The link is in the description, and it's also in the chat. It's pinned. This is going to be a beautiful one. All right, it's dry enough. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take our 1-inch brush and I'm just going to do a light sketch of our shoe, right? Look, this is this is how you can see that how we go about it. Okay, boom. And I'm just being rough with it. It doesn't matter. We're just getting our areas down pat. That way we can build our colors up on it later. I used to I used to make some. It's kind of like the cursive story. When I was starting out painting, I used to make some ugly paintings because I didn't do a foundation first, and I didn't understand how to build my colors up. I wasn't building my colors up because I wasn't building a foundation on there, which is the black. And I wouldn't have known that because you don't see it with the naked eye. And you know that feeling. I know everybody here knows that feeling where it's like you see something that you want to create. You see something that's beautiful that you want to kind of have your style be like, but for some reason your hand won't do what your eye sees, right? We all know that feeling. That's why we use the projector to give us that tool to at least meet us halfway there. People think just because you have a projector, all of a sudden you're going to become Michelangelo or Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci overnight. No, and even them, they use the projector, but still, um, you still have to work it. It's just a tool to meet you halfway. You still have to know how to kind of get there. But anyone can do this. You don't have to go to art school. There's no gatekeeping. On these Converses, I want to make them blue, if that's cool with you. The last ones, I think we did them black, but we can make it blue. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now I'm going to add our, let me do a little bit of blue down here. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of our foliage. Anytime, like most of the times before I start going in, like I'll do the foundation of a flower, but anytime before I'll do the flower when I'm doing the foundation of it with the black or whatever, I build on top of it with like a green, the foliage. Hey, Jaded Hunter, happy to have you here. Good morning or good afternoon. So what if I learned this week about doing these live streams? there's a couple changes that I think I'm going to make next week. One, I think that I'm more mentally exhausted because I'm trying to do 3 hours, and that's not fair either because what we always talk about is 90 minutes. And the reason I talk about 90 minutes is that way you don't get mentally burnt out and your mind starts playing tricks on you. My mind will start playing tricks on me because I'm doing more than what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to have that mental clarity, that mental break of the 90 minutes. Um, so I think I'm just going to commit to doing 90 minutes, no more than 2 hours, especially since we talk or whatever. And that way I can really focus in on more of my work. Cause even though I'm filming, right? Or I'm live streaming, I still have I still have these even though I'm filming, right? I'm Corbellic. And I can't stand the feeling where I feel like a loser afterwards. Not a loser, but I feel down on myself afterwards where I'm shooting 3 hours and then I'm only getting 15 paintings done. You know, that doesn't feel good to me because I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting time and I need to be like, I need to work faster. That's just that's just human stuff, me being down on myself. So that's like some of the things right there. So it's like if I focus on the 90 minutes that we're here or no more than 2 hours, I feel like I could get more work done. Or maybe not, I don't know. But at least I'll have a mental clarity and not feel too burnt out or exhausted. But also I think what I want to do as well is I want to have the live streams be a little bit earlier. So I'm thinking 8:30 Pacific time. That's 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let me know what you think about that time change. Let's see here. I'm loving our elite group. Everything you need to know about the eBay business is in there. You're going to be challenged to perform in a great way. That's awesome. Exactly. Thank you, Brenda. Happy to have you here. I'm so happy you're here. Do 2 lives, 90 minute each. 90 minutes is super realistic. Day after day is hard. Yeah, day after day is hard. Like yesterday was kind of hard on me mentally after I was like, damn, because I've been doing 3.5 hours, you know, and then afterwards it's like I take a nap, and then when I wake up from it, and then I don't even watch the replays, to be honest. I don't watch any of the replays. I know it's good stuff, but I'm so thankful for everybody who gets in the comments afterwards. Like I usually what I do is I check the community to judge the temperature for people who watch, and then they're like, you've been so much of a help today. And then when I see that, it makes it worth it. Then it's like, oh, I feel good. But yeah, the 3.5 hours was a bit much. It's not like I can't do it. It's just that I need like a 30-minute break or an hour break in between and then probably do it. But yeah, 90 minutes. I'll be watching whenever and for however long that you're live. 90 minutes is great. Just go with the flow, however you're feeling on the day. That's true. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And then that's going to be better. So that way it's like mentally, the reason that I say that when we talk about 90-minute blocks inside the community, right? We talk about it mostly because we say that we can manage that time. It doesn't feel like if you feel like you have to do 50 paintings, 60 paintings, or you feel like you have to do so many, you're not going to do that well and you're not going to want to do any of them. But if we break it up into chunks, if we break it up into, all right, we're just going to do an hour and a half, we can focus in on a 90 for an hour and a half. 90 an hour and a half, we could kick butt, right? But then it's like, oh, I got to film for 30 for 3 hours. Then it's like, you know what happens? All right, I'm gonna tell you what happens. I was thinking about this yesterday. What happens, because I'm still human, is the we talk about the Parkinson's order, right? For those who don't know, in the elite community, the Parkinson's order that we talk about is a real thing where your mind will equate the time allotted for the responsibility. So for example, when you were a kid and your mom was like, clean your bedroom, and then you spent the whole day not cleaning your bedroom, you didn't do nothing, but you knew she was coming home in an hour, that hour or that 30 minutes, that last hour or that last 30 minutes, then you actually did your job. You actually started cleaning up the bedroom and you did everything. But if you know that you have like, oh, I got all day to finish my task, it's going to take you all day to finish the task because us humans we're silly like that. So I had that kind of problem where it was like Parkinson's law was working on me, where it's like, oh, I'm filming for 3 hours, so I got 3 hours to film. I got 3 hours to talk and to play around. But I don't want to be in that mindset, even though I'm filming. I don't like that feeling. I'm used to being a workhorse. Parkinson's law. Oh, I got time. I got time to finish it. So I'll BS around. No, we don't have time to BS around. We don't have time to mess around. It's now or never. There is what they say from Rocky. There is no tomorrow. Sounds great to me. It says here the administrator to set up the links or posts in addition to day after day live. Pretty difficult, we noticed. Your hair and makeup has been off. Huh? My hair and makeup. What hair and makeup? The admin to set up the links or posts in addition to day after day live. Pretty difficult. We've noticed your hair and makeup has been off. I don't wear any makeup. No, it's called Parkinson's law. You can look it up. Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law is you pretty much procrastinating and wasting the time for the time allotted for the responsibilities or for the task that you have. Let's look this up. Parkinson's law. It says it's a principle that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Yeah. Work expands to fill the time allotted. The core principle suggesting that the task will take as long as you give it, leading inefficiency. See, exactly. It's like it's the inefficiency of it. That's the thing that I have a problem with. It's like being inefficient, and you know me, I'm like being all about efficiency because that's one of the principles that we talk about. And even though I'm still working with great speed, it just Parkinson's. So I was like, I need to focus on, I need to focus on 90 minutes, no more than 2 hours. And I need to come in, I need to do them early. I think I'm going to have the live stream at 8 a.m. What do you think about that? What do you think about the timing? Is that cool? Or is this time better? Because it seems like most people are in different parts of the country or the world than on my time zone. All right, let me put my signature on it and that's it. Oh, that was a joke. I know, I figured that was a joke. Let's see here. It says you will definitely be challenged. It's not for the faint of heart, but is also worth it. You will advance and you will also cultivate work ethic. Exactly. It's so true. Like there is no, I would be lying. I would be lying if I said, fine with me, I'm on the East Coast. Awesome. Already painting at 7:30, 8:30. It's great. Awesome. Happy to hear that. I would be lying if I said that these are get rich quick schemes kind of thing and you don't have to work. Like in this world, you have to work. Here, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Come on, this is beautiful. We did it together. You could do this too. Boom. Like there's so many people in this world in this day and age that think that you could just do these get rich quick schemes, or you could just set up an ad, or you could just set up a chat GPT, or you can set up or whatever, and then that's it, and then you don't have to work, and then those things fall out, and then those people are frustrated, and then they lose out on all this money. They spend thousands of dollars just so they could be like scammed. Or you have so many people who are like, they don't even know what your passion is or what you're good at, what your product is. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter what your product is. You could be a hot dog pancake flipper, and then you pay me $5,000 and I'll help you figure out your business sense. And then we'll make it into a successful thing as long as we put ads or something into it. And you don't have to, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you have to work. There's no way out. There's no way out of this. You have to work. Work beats work. I always talk about that. Work beats work. I have a camel, but I'm gonna actually do this one on a 10 by 20 because I think it'd be cool on a 10 by 20. It's kind of got like a skinny face. Let me go and grab my 10 by 20 over here. Here it is. Uh, I also do 10 by 20s as well. 10 by 20s are nice sizes. People like 10 by 20. So, have some of these on standby as well. And then there's a certain way how you can box these. You can still box it the same way of the boxes that we have. You could just double up on it. So for example, when you ship these out, it's the same thing like if you would be shipping a 12 by 12 or something like that. You put the box on top of here and then you put the second one under. It's like you double up and then you tape it in the middle, you box it, and then it's good to go. Yeah, but that's what I said. I said I'm gonna start. I think so. Monday I'm gonna start painting at 8:30. Because then when I'm done, I still have other work that I have to do. And then when I'm done with the work, or let's see here. Let's do the camel. Look at our camel. It's awesome. Boom. There's our camel. Here, hold on. Let me pull more of the ear in. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Boom. I think that's going to work. Yep. There we go. All right. What we got here? Looks nice. Thanks, Pete. Happy to have you here. Good morning or good afternoon. Yeah, because I still have other work that I have to do. And then after I'm done with the work, I'm like, dang, where did the time go? The day's already gone. But I think I could beat it as long as I start at 8:30. I do, less than 2 hours. And then I still have time for the other stuff. A year ago, I had started a construction company, and that's why I'm in between California and between Florida. So I also deal with that. I'm like, I got a bunch of hats here. But none of it would be possible. I'm always so passionate about eBay because none of it would be possible without eBay. And that's what I always talk about as well too. See, other people always talk about like, like you should be stagnant forever for whatever your life is, and that's it. Whatever the thing is you should be a hot dog pancake flipper for life. And I don't ever talk about that. I always say that I would want you to have an avenue or use whatever eBay is giving you and have a plan, so that way you can do the things that you actually want to do or things that it would be interesting for you to do, and you can invest in your future. It's kind of like having an exit plan. That if you have an exit plan, or at least put it in your mind about an exit plan, or at least a different avenue, it'll help you with your art, because you have a goal of what you're doing instead of thinking short term. What time is it there now? It's almost 5 a.m. on the East Coast here in Australia. Right now it's 11 o'clock here, 11 a.m. I don't know. It's just a funny saying that I say when I talk about a hot dog pancake flipper business. I say that because on one of my earlier videos, I talk about like where these guru coaches, they claim that they can help anybody's business, but they don't know what your business is, and they say, "Oh, find your passion. Whatever your passion is, we'll make it into $1 billion," and they don't even know what your business is. And you could tell the guru coach, whoever, you can say, "Well, my passion is that I want to run a business where it's a hot dog pancake flipper machine business or something, and let's make it into something." The joke is that no matter how much money or funds that guru was going to put into that business or tell you to put into it, because it would actually be your money that you would have to run on the advertisement, it won't be successful, or it probably won't be successful because it doesn't matter. People aren't interested in the hot dog pancake flipping thing. So I always make a joke when I talk about that. It's like an inside joke. All right, now I'm going to use a 1.5 inch brush. And I'm just going to go through this color really quick on the background, just try to get it through. Because this one I'm going to be building layers on later. So let me just get the first layer down on this camel. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that's the way. I'm sure it is. Sure, of course it is. Let's do it like this too. See, you can work it like this too. Anytime you see, like when we're working off, that's the beauty about working off of a projector, is that we already see the layers that's already there. So you don't have to worry about being so detailed about like having the layers inside of itself. Do the first layer, like you see how quick I'm doing the first layer like this, right? Like I'm just going over it. I'm doing the first layer on top of it just like this, right? Like you see, I'm not worried about the other colors because I'm going to dry this off, and then we'll go in later on and we'll add the other layers on top of it. Now, when people don't work with a projector, they have to actually try to work on top of each other because they don't see what the underneath colors are already going to be. We already have the cheat code where we see the colors there. That's why the title of this video was that the projector beats talent. We already see it. We already see the under color. We could work fast. Hey, Treasure Maze, happy to have you here. Morning. Camels are fun to paint. Camels are fun to paint. They're such majestical creatures. So even though the paint is a little bit wet right now, like I love how where I have the bigger paintbrush. And what I'm going to do is this is like where I'm going to do a little bit of a soft blend where I'm just still on top, right? Like this, to the other areas where just a soft blend. Look at that. That's amazing. All right. Now I'm going to put the 1.5 inch brush away and I'm going to go with the 1 inch brush now. Thanks, Pete. I'm going to do a hot orange. See how we're just you see how we're doing that? Where it's like even though we had that color, now we're just layering on top of another color on there, and we're doing it on the areas that we see or that have those highlights in there. And there's no right or wrong in it because what's going to bring it all together at the end is that we use the black. That's going to bring everything together. But we're just using this to punch in when we're using the black. The black is going to be the one that's going to bring everything together, but we're just using this as just the layerings. You can't go wrong with the layerings either way, whatever you choose to do. But we basically had like two different layers on top of each other. We had the white, and then we had the brown, and then now we have like kind of the reddish orange. I'm so used to doing this where it's like, for so long at the beginning when I was using the projector so many years ago, I there will be moments where I'm like, gosh, is this gonna come together? Is it gonna work? It always works. All right, so there we go right there. Now what I'm going to do, let me go in with our turquoise color. And then after that, I'm gonna dry it off and then I'm gonna go in with the black and we're pretty much almost done. It's gonna look so good. What I should do, or what you could do, for example, like this, if you were gonna do a camel, what you could also do is like at the top, you could write it like the cigarette brand and put like how they write it out, camel. I could try to check my references to see if I have it, and then maybe we could do something like that. But no, for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna get on to the next one. Or I could just write it myself. That it doesn't matter. Then that you could freestyle. You don't need a projector to write camel at the top, or at least like how the cigarette brand looks. Or we could just I could just look it up on my phone real quick and just freestyle it off of the hand of whatever the logo looks like. It doesn't have to be exact. We already did the hard part. Not even the hard part, but you know what I mean. We already did the part of the camel. People get the idea. They get the gist of what you're doing. And look, with this turquoise, I'm just throwing it down in different areas. It don't really matter where. I just want to add another layer to our highlight because the black is going to bring it all together for us. And then for one more layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a purple. I'm going to do like I'm going to do a purple. Let's see here. How I do my purples on my easel is I do the dark purple and the light purple next to each other. So that way I can either play around with them or mix them or however I want to go about that color whenever I need to. If there's sometimes where if I don't want to go too dark into a black yet, I'll do it with a purple or I'll do it with a purplish red. Kind of like what I'm doing now. Boom. That way it's like it's not too like hardcore on what the black is, just black. You want to have a different, like a variation of a different, stronger, dark color before doing the black sometimes. But don't listen to me. Like I said, I didn't go to art school. There's no right or wrong. I'm just making conversation here. I don't know what I'm doing. But you can see like it's a darker purple. It's a darker purple or it's like a darker red kind of thing before I go in with the black, which is going to be the last part or one of the last part. I probably like the last part will probably go in here with the white to really bring it all together, and then that's it. But I got the 1 inch brush right here. That way you bring it all together so quickly and you have the confident brush strokes because it's so easy. It's just easier to get the work done that way. A lot of times when I look back on my earlier work and it didn't have the confidence that I wanted, where we talked about earlier in the video, where it's like that feeling of cursive, and I'm like, how come it's not working for me? Is because I didn't use I wasn't using a larger brush stroke. That's why I wasn't using the bigger paint brushes. If I was using the bigger paint brushes, then it would have been easier for me to get that look I was looking for, or I was trying to go for that whole cursive feeling. I would have got that way faster. But then when you have a smaller paintbrush and you're trying to achieve that, it looks like you're trying to control too much with a smaller paintbrush, and people can see it. They don't want to see those smaller. I'm trying to. The bigger paintbrushes saved me. The 1 inch. All right, so now that we're here, we're pretty much almost done. Now I'm just going to dry it off because we have these layers that's on here. It's not going to take that long. Then we'll go in with the black and then we're pretty much done. Let me see in the meantime if I can pull up a camel cigarette logo. See what that looks like. Camel cigarettes image. All right, cool. I have an image of it, so I'm gonna work off of that. Just freestyle it. Doesn't matter. That's a psychological trick. The more that you say that to yourself that you don't know what you're doing, you can say it to yourself too, the better that you perform. Because I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like the work is already there, but I say it also where it doesn't matter what the outcome is going to be. Because if the outcome works, cool. But if it doesn't, then I already told you from the beginning I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not tripping. That's also a secret to how to manifest things in your life is that you have to be okay with you having it and with you not having it because you already have to put it in your mind that you already had it. So that way you're not geeked off of like if it works or if it doesn't work. You're like, oh, okay, it's whatever. I already had it. I already put it in my mind that it happened. You know, they ask the same thing about like successful athletes. They always say they always that the athletes that they ask, how did you win or how did you do this, or even fighters, they say that they already put it in their mind that they won the fight or that they won the championship or whatever. So that way when it happens, they're not really like tripping off of it. It's like, yeah, of course, because I already put it in my mind that I was going to win. Like that way you have to do that. And I mean, and a lot of these people they actually go to hypnotists so they can be hypnotized into that mindset. Because there's a lot of times we have blockages and unconscious trauma of why we can't get past a certain mindset or a certain success. Now, also at times when I want to really kind of like have an idea of the reference that I'm using, I'm not just completely working off the projector. I'm also looking back at it's okay to look back at your computer just so you can see a certain areas of where things are at, just to have a quick idea. I'm not working too close to the reference. A lot of times I see artists when they're doing a painting or something, they'll have a tablet near them and they'll be working like this and they'll be looking like I wouldn't want to work like that all the time, like looking next to it like that, because then what you're doing, you're trying to be a perfectionist and you're going off of the notion, the guideline of how not to make a mistake. And I just look at it a little bit as a tool, and then I'll still go back to whatever we're doing. Like, I'll look at it for areas of where the eye is at or something like that, things that make sense. But other than that, it doesn't matter. People kind of have the idea of what we're painting. Yeah, no, I love camels too. Camels and elephants, they're like majestical creatures. All right, let's see here. Like to follow where we're at on the. And we're pretty much done. So now what I'm going to do just to bring these colors in a little bit more is then the last part is our white. Or even if you don't want to use white as well, you could just use a lighter color. It could be either cream or it could be like even a lighter blue. All right, I'm done with that part. Let me let me do the camel part or the logo. I'm just going to freehand it. Let me dry it off because I think I'm going to have to go into the ear a little bit. What size box you use when shipping a frame canvas? It depends on the frame canvas. It depends on the size of the frame canvas. Is it a 12 by 16? Is it a 16 by 20? Mostly, if it's a mirror size box, they'll fit both of them. Just get a small mirror size box, and they'll fit both of them. That's what I use. You see here, camel. Hope this comes out right. Of course, it's going to come out right. It always comes out right, even if it doesn't. Who cares? Looks good already. All right, let's do that. Type of E they got. And then the L, and that's it. Boom, look at that. I appreciate you, David. All right, let's turn the light on and let's do some highlights on the camel, just to do some lighter parts. We're going to do a lighter blue. And I like to do it in the black so that way it highlights it out. It's not just that black, you know, we got to make that black pop a little bit. Way to make it pop is you got to highlight it with the lighter color, either the white or it could be a light blue, a light yellow. Let's even do some shimmy in the eye. Now let's do a light yellow because we are talking about the desert and it's a cami, right? I don't know. Let me know you appreciate this video. We're doing some great work over here. Leave a like in the comment. Leave me a super chat. Leave me a super chat so we could close the week out. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a box of ramen noodles. All right, let's see here. Something like that. I don't know. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a light pink and maybe add it to the outside of it. Give him a hue. Because why not? Let's do that again on the other side, and then we'll be done. Let me punch in the camel a little bit, give it a little bit of a fake shadow. And these, you could just do it the under thing. It doesn't matter. This, boom, bang, boom. There we go. And there's our camel right there, right? Like that's always fun. We didn't put too much thought into it. Could have been faster, but it is what it is. It's a beautiful camel. People love camels. Who doesn't love camel? You know, I don't trust you if you don't like camels. All right, so there's our painting right there. Let's see what it looks like. Huh? What do you think? Isn't that awesome? There's our camel right there. And then I freehanded the camel cigarette logo at the top where it says camel. I think that's really cool. Gives it a vintage look, gives it something different. A lot of people aren't doing stuff like that. So it makes sure that you stand out. Maybe somebody will look at it and be like, well, maybe that looks like a donkey. I don't know. It's okay. It's fine. Hey, Jinjin. Happy to have you here. Good morning, good afternoon. All right, on to the next. Now I'm back to the 16 by or the 12 by 16. I'm doing a camel too. I don't have the projector yet, but soon. I know I'll get quicker. Thanks for your guidance. No, thank you for being here. Thank you, Nancy. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you, everybody. Leave the likes on the video. Help push this along on them YouTube streets. All right, this painting, we're going to be doing a plague doctor because people love the plague doctors. Plague doctors do very well on, in general. eBay, art. I used to do a lot of plague doctors when I first started off in my gallery days. Of like most of that was like my tagline as I was the plague doctor. I was the plague doctor artist. So a lot of my stuff was plague doctor. I still have some of my original paintings where it's plague doctor. I would always put that in there, like the plague. And then it's crazy. And this was even before 2020. So then when 2020 happened, and all of that stuff that came with it, right? I was like, I told you, the plague, history repeats itself. But when I was doing the plague doctor, and that was my thing that I was going for with the history of it was 17th century, is going off of the history that the only people who won out of it was the at that time that was big pharma. That was the winners. And it was basically like kind of subconsciously or subliminally making fun of not too much of capitalism, but I guess like corporate greed, big pharma, corporate greed. And that was before it. Like, it's crazy. Full circle. But that's a true story. Do a donkey. Okay, maybe I'll do a donkey today. That'd be cool. Yes, I still want the plague doctor, squishmallows. Sarah, did you make it on? They were unknowingly pest control. Yeah. So I used to do a whole thing on it. I even had like where I would make paintings of where the kids and they would do like ring around the rosy, because that's what it was about. It was about the plague during that time. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, they all fall down. So in the plague, in the beaks of it, they would put like herbs and different stuff in there where they would think that it was like preventing the plague. But really they knew it wasn't. It was just more theater, if anything, if that sounds familiar. Reminds me of the game Darkest Dungeon. I don't know that game. All right, so let's see here. On this one, I'm just going to go into the. I'm going to usually I switch either if I'm going to go into color first or if I'm going to do a black highlight first. This one I'm going to go into the black highlight first because then it's just going to be easier to build on our colors onto it. Usually plague doctors for me. They're so easy to paint. I've done so many of them. Steampunk, yeah. That now the crazy thing is like imagine there's certain paintings out there, right, that you've done before, that you've done numerous of them, and you know how to do it, or you're just confident of doing it, and you complete that painting in a short amount of time. You do it in 15 minutes, you do it in 20 minutes, whatever. And the reason that you're able to do it because A, you're working off of a projector, but also because you painted it before and you have the confidence of doing it. Like, would someone else try to say to you, "Oh, you're not an artist because you didn't spend 3 hours on that painting that you've done before, that you know how to do, and that you have the confidence of doing. You have to spend more time doing it." Just like what we always talk about with Picasso, where that lady, she was stunned when he was like, "All right, that's going to be $30,000 for that painting I did on the napkin that only took me 5 minutes." And she's like, "Why? It only took 5 minutes." He was like, "Yeah, but it took me years to learn how to do that in 5 minutes." But us, on the other hand, we don't have to say that where it took us years because he was also probably there's tricks that he knew too that he was using. He was being facetious. But for us, we don't have to take years of learning how to do certain things because we're using the projector. Artists through history. How can I go fast? So true. I love that. It's so true. And then anybody who denies that, I'm so glad you said that. That's so true. Like, that's so true. Like, artists through history, how can I go faster? And anybody who denies that, you're not an artist, or and I don't want to say that either, because I don't believe in that. I believe that we're all artists or we're all creative. I don't want to say that, but you're just, I don't know. It's weird. You're coming from a different standpoint of being like, um, I don't know. That's an odd one, because all artists through history have figured out, like, it's kind of like going back to that story where I talked about, where we opened up the stream. Me being a child and me wanting to paint cursive. I want to do it faster. How do I do this faster? How can I get it right? How can I be faster? How can I We all have that feeling, especially when doing art, where it's like, how can I do this right? How come Corbellic can do it this way, and I'm trying to get to that point. I'm trying to get like that feeling, and then it's like you get frustrated. We all have that. How can I do it faster? Because we understand, then we're able to either, we're beating time, we're able to get on with the time, but also being able to put more product out into the world. We all go through that. I mean, it used to keep me up for nights. I know the feeling. That's why I'm able to always talk about it with you. That's why I'm always so passionate about that topic, and how we work, how we produce art, because I'm the biggest. I'm I'm the one who beat myself up the most over it. You can't beat yourself up more than I have beat myself up over in my life, about how to produce faster, or how to do things better, or how to. I used to stay up at nighttime thinking about, how can I perfect my business? How can I perfect my art? How can I go faster? I used to beat myself up. It's the same feeling of when I was a kid, and I'm trying to. How can I do cursive better? How can I do it faster? How can I figure this out? How come my grandmother can effortlessly create cursive so beautiful and I can't do it? How come I can see it with my eyes, but how come my hand won't do it? Artists have always had that. So when someone's like, "No, you need to art has to be, you have to spend 3 days on it, on one project." That sounds like torture. Who would say that to another artist? I don't want you to spend that much time onto something like that. Get on to the next one. Because then what's going to happen, you're not going to enjoy it. I was watching this I was watching this short documentary or something about who was it? I can't remember, but it was an actor who was working with um Stanley Kirk? Is it Stanley? Who am I thinking? Who Stanley Kirk, the director? Wait, dang, my brain is leaving me. Who did The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut? Is that Stanley Kirk? I think it is. Come on. What's wrong with me? Or maybe that's not the name. No, it's not that. Come on. What is wrong? I apologize. I have to get this, or my mind's gonna. Let's see if you know. Oh, Stanley Kubrick. Thank you. What was I thinking? Of course, it's like my favorite director. All right, so I'm watching this documentary, and they were talking about working with Stanley Kubrick, and these are artists, right? And they were saying that the thing that they couldn't stand working with him is that he would make you shoot a scene. Um, he would make you shoot a scene like 90 times, retakes 90 times, and they said that the thing that they hated, and they said that you wouldn't get the best performance out of them, because, or at least in their mind, maybe there was a method behind the madness, because he's a genius director. But they would say that they hated it because for them they didn't feel like they were getting the best performance, because it's like, after you're doing it that many times, or at the end of it on that one thing, and it has to be perfect, but it's the same thing, then they said that they would lose it, where they would lose the performance part. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, some people feel like what we do in a time frame of how we work, these are studies. and they're not the actual performative art itself in what we're doing. These are the studies. So we're doing this as a study, and then the real art is the stuff that after the study, then we come with the all right, it's perfect now. Now I'm ready to paint. By that time, I'm already exhausted. Let's see here. To be honest, we need to learn when to stop. And that's so true. One of my early mentors used to always say a quote, and it was so true. He said that it never stops. Art never stops. Art never has an end. You can always work on a painting. I remember when I first came up with my the method of how we work and the time of how we work, and then working off of a time clock. Some artists, and I would tell some artists at the time of it, and I wish I didn't, because they thought that it was like, so you're like a you're not doing it for the art no more and being creative. You're looking at it like a factory or something. And they didn't get the idea where it's like, and I remember saying to them, I said, we all know that when it comes to art, you could keep going. Art never stops. Like, you could keep working a painting for years. You could keep adding layers to it. You could keep adding different touches to it. You could add so many details to it. You could keep going and going and going. Even when they study the masters paintings, a lot of it is the underpainting underneath. Is there's another painting underneath of it, and they kept working it because it never stops. It's never enough. You could always keep working art. And what we teach ourselves, which is more freeing, is that we can let it go. And I think I need to talk more about that, because that's a great point that you brought up there. Thank you for saying that. Is that we need to let it go. How to let it go and not be attached to what it should be, and to keep working it. The real confidence of an artist, I believe, the real confidence is being confident to say that it's enough, and to let it go, and then on to the next one. That's confidence, because you're not going to die. It's not going anywhere. The work that you need to do today, it's still going to be there tomorrow. Let's see here. The artist painting on the streets of Paris, they make really fast portraits because they want to collect money and on to the next. If they're not fast, they won't make the money. That's so true. Your ideas are banging tonight. Well, I told you we're going to get better with the live streams as soon as I get more comfortable into what we do. It's always a flow. I remember when I started making my first videos on YouTube, I was just like so self-conscious, and I was like, I don't know what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But then you just get better after time of the flow of it. So we're just going to get better. It's different. It's totally different compared to shooting these or doing the live than it is of shooting videos. It's just different. It's just it's a total different mindset. So I'm just getting used to the mindset of it. But like I said, I'm kind of a that's why I'm able to talk in the way that I am, because if you know me enough, you know that I'm a perfectionist. I'm such a perfectionist where I had to work my way out of mentally how to not be a perfectionist. So that's why I'm able to talk to my other perfectionists out there as yourself of how we get past it, how to get past it. It's not that we don't care, it's just that we're perfectionists and we were trained to kind of be that way. So me being a perfectionist, I'm like that with everything. And I just learned how to do things more efficient and better. How am I going to improve tomorrow? How am I going to do this so I don't feel weird? Or you stop and look at it and freeze thinking, I'm not an artist. Yeah, the more time that you spend on it, the more time that you have the time to think that it's ugly, or you psych yourself out of thinking, I'm not an artist. This isn't working. I'm not great. All right. There we go right there. That plague doctor is looking awesome. I don't know about you, but that plague doctor is looking awesome. Oh, I love these. I love every time I do a plague doctor. Boom. There we go. Oh, that's amazing. I'm not even going to do anything else to it. Let me just put my signature on it. That's it. Check this out. Huh? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They always come out so beautiful. There's our plague doctor right there. And this one right here, put it up on eBay. It's always going to be a hot seller. So these are one of the topics right here that I take out of the bag sometimes, where it's like I want a certain income coming in, or I want to make certain money. I know that this is a dollar amount that people are going to be going for. Plague doctor. They love it. Let's see here. P says, since I started using the projector, I'm so much more confident. Never in my life have I ever done 10 paintings in a day. Exactly. That's amazing. And this is the thing. It's like, yes, if we really wanted to, we could do it without one. And a lot of the choices, like we could make it without it, but it's like God is holding our hand with having that projector there with us, where it's like it's okay for us to make some of these same choices. And before, we could just look at a reference and be like, okay, I know it's okay for me to make that choice. But when the reference is already there with the projector, it's just a confidence tool. All right, on to the next one. Let's see what we have here. All right, on this one, I'm going to do a larger painting. This is going to be a 16 by 20. I'm going to do a cowboy horse, like a silhouette cowboy horse, colorful. And this is another type of painting that I take out of the bag sometimes when I want to my munties. As I was saying yesterday, for you whoever wasn't here yesterday, is that after you do this, after you put up enough data points with your paintings and styles, you're going to know certain paintings that fetch for more money than others, and that are always successful. And then anytime you're looking for a certain paycheck, you could just pull them out the bag. And you can pull them out the bag so they could go with other paintings on that same auction day or that same time, and then it makes other ones pull up as well. All right, let's do this. Boom. There's our cowboy right there. I'm going to start off with a bluish color, and then at the bottom it's going to be a either pinkish or yellowish color. That way it's somewhat like a horizon kind of thing. I don't know. But let's just start with the light blue first. Yeehaw. Yippee-ki-yay. Look at that. We're just taking the blue. Look at this. Let's do a little bit of a turquoise. A little bit more turquoise. I'm gonna do a little bit of a light purple in the middle before we go into the yellowish thingy. Just in the middle, light purple. Now at the bottom, let's go for the next layer, which is the pink, which is going to be right here. And then the last layer at the bottom is going to be the yellow. You see how I did that? How it's like I blended those colors without really blending them. Let them be in their own zones. Now, a little bit of that red got it then there. So let's lighten this up. Yeah, turquoise is my color for life. It saves me. Love it. All right, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that right there. I love that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we paint on top of this thing. It's going to be a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now let's just dry it off. And go into it. On the video, we have this title that how the projector beats talent. And me, in my mindset from doing this for so long, I believe that talent just feels safe. That's something that you learn so people don't criticize you. It's something that you learn. It's like something that you can, the technical part of it. I know the technical part of it, so I'm safe. People can't judge me. I don't want my friends and family to laugh at my art, so I'm making all technical Mona Lisas that took me 20 hours. All right, so now what I like to do on these is I go into the color. Since I'm doing like these silhouettes, I go into the color. Can't go wrong or whatever the color is. This is going to be a really quick painting. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into the black. So let's take out our 1-inch brush. I really love these paintings. These always work for me. And let's just get into it. I'm going to do a light blue. And then look, big, broad, confident brush strokes. I'm not going backwards. I'm not going forward. I'm just going one time. Look, boom, boom, boom. It is what it is. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Confident, broad brush strokes. Don't go backwards. Don't dibby dabby. You can always layer on later. But you can only get those broad brush strokes like that when you use a bigger paintbrush. That's really the secret. A lot of these gallery artists and all that stuff. That's why I always tell is like it's always cool to go to a gallery, not so you could be like, oh, I'm studying the arts and all of that, whatever. I only like, for me personally, I like going to galleries at times or museums just so I can see how these people are not any different than us. We're actually better artists than them. Like, they're not doing anything special. I just look at their brushstrokes. I'm like, I go there just to be like, oh, if they could do it, I could do it. I looked at their work up close. If you don't actually get the chance to look at artwork up close or get a chance to be around it, you might think that it's more majestic than what it really is. These people are human just like you are. They didn't do anything special that you can't do. I look at their brushstrokes. And the secret too, a lot of times people think that other people are great artists when really they just use a larger brushstroke because they're using big canvases. So they're using larger brushstrokes. So it just looks like the confidence of whatever they're doing with the larger brushstroke is what it is. It's not that there was a technicality of what they were doing. It's just a larger paintbrush. 80% of the time. I mean, look how beautiful this is already. For me, this is already turning out amazing. I think some of these artists are having like secret society meetings about us behind closed doors, and they're like, we must stop him. He's telling all the secrets. If not, he's he's giving hope to too many artists out here. He must be stopped. All right, well, what are we gonna do? Okay, you go out there and you make another YouTube video and say that they're bad artists, they're not good artists, that they need to do it our way. Okay, and what else? What am I supposed to do? You go out there and you tell them that they need to sign up to art school for $100,000 and that they need to spend 16 more hours into the art, into that one painting. Okay, what else? What else are we supposed to do? He's giving these people hope. He's working too fast. He's giving them hope. What do we do? All right, I don't know. You get out there, tell them their art sucks. Tell them they're selling on eBay and that's not a real platform. Tell them to create more newsletters. It's not working. They believe in themselves. Their frequency is getting higher. How are we going to gatekeep this anymore? He's telling them that the galleries are closing. They know it. They're making money. A lot of these people, their whole institution only works on the idea of thinking that, the whole starving artist thing, and you need to do it a certain way. I know they get pissed when they see my stuff and I'm giving out all the information. I give out all the gems. All right, you go out there, you make videos and tell people he's not currently selling art at high volume on eBay. He can't tell you anything. He's not doing it himself. These people, hilarious. Okay, well, he's actually sold 17,000 paintings. What are we supposed to tell people? Well, tell him he's not selling it now. He didn't sell 17,000 last night, did he? Tell him that. Tell him to get back to art class. Projector's bad. Yeah, right. What is that? Let's see here. There's so many styles. It doesn't matter. Just find your niche and then your style, even if you don't see it yourself exactly, and just go. It says, hell, I'm having that problem in my company. Most people are not even looking at emails. So videos I go, right? Yeah, emails are so outdated. Emails and newsletters, get out of here. It's so bothersome. And then like the thing when it comes to eBay, what I was saying yesterday, eBay has a newsletter. So these people don't even know what they're talking about because eBay has newsletters, and eBay's newsletter is better than an email because most people who have eBay, they already have the app that's downloaded on their phone. So eBay with the newsletter, they'll say, "Hey, this person has new art showing up," and they'll put a notification on the phone of saying newsletter. It won't go through an email. It'll go through your phone as a notification, just like when we have bids or auctions. So like people get like eBay sends notifications out like that. People don't even know like eBay does more. eBay has a higher open rate than what emails it could ever do. That's why I always talk about emails are in the past, and newsletters. Newsletters is only cool from eBay because eBay automatically does it and they send it through a form of the notification on the phone, not through emails. Let's see here. They say we're devaluing their work, right? Exactly. See, that's gatekeeping talk right there. Like that doesn't even make sense. How can you judge that? Like any artist, the first thing that we're taught is that art is subjective. So devaluing how? Because we're not with the time on it. Then that just lets you know the mindset that they're gatekeepers, a hater, or um that they're from a corporate mindset, because when you're working in corporate America, right, what is your salary? Your salary is equated to the metrics of your time. So when these people come from this type of world or everything must be academics, you can even see it in some of these people's faces, and you could even see it in how they talk, and you could even see it in their eyes. They come from a standpoint of having, I got straight A's my whole life. I come from robot, get straight A's, be a robot, do everything perfect, and go to college and get 4.0, and then go to art school and get a 4.0 in how to do the reference. And then when I come out, everything has to be academic. Like they think of the metrics of that. So then when you get them outside of thinking outside the box, they don't know how to think outside the box because the whole life they've been thinking like a robot where they've been taught. So it's like some people, I always used to make a joke, some people out there in the world, they don't know the sky is blue unless they open up a book and read that the sky is blue. Some people actually need to be told from a professor or from school of how to walk, like that's the thing that's crazy. And I'm teaching that we're already geniuses without all that stuff. And we need to get outside the mindset of having somebody tell us that we're already superheroes. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm just reading. It says, you got them copying you now with using a projector for a course. Really? That's crazy. Well, I mean, whatever. They are trying to get people to sign up to the course. You are a paradigm shift in the art world now, history in the making. I mean, that's the whole mindset of what I had too, is that I said that we're the new gallery. Eventually, I know it's going to be like looking on the, we only been doing this for 3 months, but I said on the outside looking in, we're going to get haters, and or we're going to get people who don't understand the mindset, and it's bigger than eBay really, because the thing is, like, we're doing this where we can have the daily paychecks on eBay and we can get the money, because I've been broke before and I hate being broke and I know what it feels like. eBay saved my life, and anybody else could do this. But what I'm saying is that it projects you into a way where you could also start selling your artwork on other platforms, well, not just other platforms, but also where people are going to come to you. Because when it came to eBay, it saved my life, where a lot of my biggest artwork and my biggest contracts and everything came from eBay. All of my biggest commissions came from eBay, people reaching out. I mean, I have artwork that's in the museum of Princess Diana, and I was able to get that commission and that project off of having my artwork on eBay. They found me from eBay, and that's God honest. Let's see here. In the age of AI, you are at least doing handmade stuff. You're at in the age of AI, you're at least doing handmade stuff. Exactly. You still got to create it. It says Doctor Who Van Gogh episode always makes me cry. He didn't know the world would love him. Yeah. Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Van Gogh. Yeah. The buyer wants results, not the method. Exactly. Truer words have never been spoken. Believe in yourself. Looking good, Corby. Let's see here. True. I was balling when I saw that episode. Real life and not like college at all. Exactly. It's like that's what I always say is like I'm living through real life, not theory. These people are working through academics and not real life. Like that's why it's like my voice and you resonate with me so much because you already live life or you have experience where it's like the things that I say, I'm not saying things that sound good to the people who aren't in it in the industry or who don't know. I'm saying things that resonate for people who actually know. And it's like it's real life, it's real theory. And no one can tell me it, that's the beauty part about me being able to say what I want because no one can take away from me the metrics on eBay. I sold 17,000 paintings. It's on there for life. Even if I don't create another painting for 5, 10 years, even if I don't do anything at all with eBay and I still keep my eBay is still there that I have that history and that I have that knowledge of doing it. So I could always coach people. I could be on my dying bed, 90 years old. Now, what would the arrogant person say? The arrogant person would come to the hospital, right? And I'm on my dying bed and I'm giving knowledge. And they would say, well, but you didn't create 17,000 paintings yesterday. That you're just looking for a way to not do the work then. Would they say that if you're on a football team and a coach is telling you these things? It's just the arrogance. You don't want to do the work and you're finding ways. It's the brain doing it. But also, as like I said, is this making a joke where it's like maybe they're having these secret society meetings behind closed doors to not have you believe in yourself because we're throwing off the dynamic of what the art world used to be. And it's not like that no more. Art galleries closed in 2025. They're so used to you not having power amongst yourself. There are people out there, there are larger structures in place that don't want too many people to actually like you're throwing things off if you're not at your job, if you're making money for yourself. Like in the day of technology, like we already had technology for so long. In the day of AI, you think it's just a coincidence? You think it's an accident that most people in the world are still broke or there's poverty or there's like a lot of people aren't prosperous? Is a system designed that way? So you think that they like where they have there's artists who are believing in themselves and there's systems for you to make money for yourself and provide for your family? No, I'm throwing a structure off here. I'm throwing a bigger structure off by exposing these things and talking about it and having you make money. You can't be doing that. Imagine you go to your job and they don't know how you're making your money or what's going on. Like that's a problem right there. You're throwing off the system. Let's see here. Let me read some more comments. I went to high school event and they were telling the kids art wasn't a good profession. Never been so pissed. I know, but we all heard that, right? And it's like it's part of the program for them to say that. Like it's just a known thing. What's the number one thing they always say too when they say that? They go, "You don't want to be a starving artist, do you?" Like, what if a kid said to their parent, "I want to be an artist"? What's the parent? The parent is also brainwashed and conditioned to say, "Well, artists don't make money." That's why it's like if I ever meet people and if I'm out at an event or something like that, and they ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" I never go, "I'm an artist," because then the first thing I know in their mind, they're thinking, "You're a starving artist. You're broke." And I don't want the notion of that. It takes away the power of who I am. They don't understand how many pieces of art that I've sold. They don't understand the whole business. Instead, I say I'm in digital marketing. They don't need to know more past that. I'm in e-commerce. They don't need to know more past that. Because also what we do also is not based off of who our character is anyways. Our profession has nothing to do with who we are as a person. We're phenomenal people. Let's see here. Um, it says the teacher's doing it again, killing creativity. Yep, that's what they do. Just so you could be a robot. If your skin is thin, art should never be more than a hobby. That's true. That's so true. I was told it's not a real job. Yeah, right. But then when you bring the money in and they see that it's actually working, that's why I always say, like, starting off on here, don't tell anybody that you're selling on eBay. Don't tell anybody what you're doing because they're going to try to throw your frequency off. And they're going to try to throw your frequency off because they're projecting what they feel, what's inside of them. And then once you make it work for yourself, don't talk about the car. Always pull up with the car because once you start making it work for yourself, then what do they do? They always believed in you from the beginning, right? Then they always believed in you. Like, I'm big on that. I don't tell anybody anything because I understand how the frequency is. Even if they don't hate on you or say something negative in your face, it's the energy where they'll do it behind your back and that could throw it off. But then when you show up to work, because when you work a job, when you work a job, everybody knows that the salary is what the salary is. You're only based at that. You can't make more money and you can't do more than what the salary is. But then all of a sudden, when you start going to work and then they don't understand where the extra money's coming from, your skin is looking better. Your clothes are looking better. You got new shoes, or you're driving a new car, or whatever the situation is. Then they're going to be looking. They're like, "How is this happening? How is this happening? We designed a system for you not to believe in yourself and you to be broke. How are you doing this?" My mother always told me when I was younger, she says, once you understand how to play their game, they change the rules. So never be told quick to tell them that you understand the game and what game that you're playing, because then they'll change the rules. And once they change the rules, they want you to get back to where you're at. Once they understand how that you once they understand that you understand how to play the game, they change the rules. Humans, they're like, humans are supposed to be our peasants and slaves. How dare you be in a situation where you're freeing yourself? That's why I create art the way that I create art. That's why I create art where I'm doing it fast and I'm doing it efficient, because I'm thinking that even eBay wants to take it from me. I'm thinking everybody wants to take it from me, and they don't want to be like, "Well, he's figuring out the game." Once you know how to play the game, they want to change the rules to make things harder for you because you can't free yourself. That's why in my earlier artwork, if you know me, in my earlier artwork, I would put slave in my artwork because the world wants you to be a slave. They have the power of it being like that. But the only way to free yourself out of it is to make money. Make your money and get out of it. People who try to say, "Oh, you don't need to make money. Money's a stupid thing. Money is for those evil people." Don't make money, just make good art. Make art and you'll feel better about yourself. Like, think about the person who's telling you something like that. Do they really have a good intentions for you to tell you to be broke? You be broke. You research and you do art fairs and package up all this stuff and take it on the road and then send out newsletters hoping that people are going to reply to your email one day and give you money on a painting. Like, that's not somebody who's looking out for your best intention, or that's somebody who's never actually done it themselves in the current day of 2026, where it's like, I'm trying to help people get money today, next week. Oh, that's why I say in my videos, right? I always say, you can join my coaching and you can make money as early as next week. And I mean, when and then let's see here. It says, "I know one thing. I'll take the 99 cents over a like," and that's so true. But even how the system is set up, I don't. Even how the system is set up, how we do it in the coaching, you're starting off with the snowball effect where you'll get sales that's like that, and that's for the auction. But then what happens is, how I have it, where I have it set up, is that there's a combined shipping rule in there. So even if we didn't have the combined shipping rule in there, you're still making the profit points based the off of the shipping. Like, we make money off of the shipping. I don't know why people act like we don't make money off of the shipping. We make money off of the shipping. And then on top of that, we make money not only with the shipping, but we make money from the combined shipping rule. And then people come back to you because you just earned that collector. They come back and they'll buy the buy it now store. They'll buy stuff from your store. So and I'll take that any day. Exactly. I'll take that over any day than where I was traditionally doing art and the free likes. But here I just spent a whole week. Like, and then this thing too is like, if you're doing art like that, how are you getting the money to even go to an art fair? How are you getting the money? You have to have the money somehow. So I'm assuming that you have a job then. So if you have a job, you're supposed to get off of work and then you're supposed to spend 30 hours onto one painting. So really basically what you're telling me to do is that I have to work a full-time job and then I have to spend 2 weeks from getting off of work to work on a painting, one painting. Because when I get off of work, right, like you only have so many hours in the day of which you could work on that painting or whatever. And during that time of 2 weeks, you're just working on one painting and you're not selling it. By that time of 2 weeks, you could be working on your brand on eBay and you could be making the money already. Why would you do that? 100% exactly my experience so far. Repeat buyers, the ones I experience come back and they buy 7 to 10 more items. Crazy and true. Exactly. But the people on the outside looking in, they don't know that business. They don't understand that notion of our business. They don't understand that. So even if you try to explain it, they're not trying to hear it because really that's not their intention anyways, is to understand it and to hear it. Their notion is to gatekeep and to keep the old system the way it is. And for you not to make any money is what I'm coming to realize and understand about what's going on around here. And I'm here to break the paradigm to change the game where and expose all these people and expose all this stuff. Because the people, they'll come back to you and they'll buy. Like I said, I mean, I made my whole livelihood, all of my investments and everything came from doing eBay, not from all that other stuff. And there's nobody who could say, oh, well, you just have to do it hard. You didn't do it or something, because I have so much history out there already on the internet where there's proof that I've already done all of that stuff. So you can't talk to me anything like I haven't or I don't know what I'm talking about. And maybe a lot of my watchers and my new members, they haven't gone through the mud like I've gone through the mud, but I've went through the mud for you so I can know what it sounds like. Nobody can say anything about how you're doing it because I did it for you. All right, let's see here. We're pretty much done on this one. I mean, I could call it quits. I'm just, whatever. Look at that. Look at that painting. Huh? All right, I'm done on this one. Let me just write down my signature and boom. Look at that. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? Come on. Leave me some likes. Come on, put some super chats in there for me. Let me know that you appreciate this video, the knowledge that we're dropping on here, all the information, all the inspiration, but also we're just painting together. Leave some likes, leave some loves. Give me some super chats so we could close the week out strong. Look at that. That's beautiful. I got to show that again. Look at that, huh? All right, let me put this one to the side. Yeah, we're definitely picking it up, especially since today is the second week of the year. So from now to like probably the end of the year, we're going to be cooking because as soon as that as soon as people get their tax money in a couple weeks, because people are going to get it quick, it's going to be booming from now to the end of the year. I believe it's going to be to the end of the year. I believe it's going to be a strong economic year. And it's just amazing. So like I said, you're at a great time right now. And we're already past the bad part, or not the bad part, but when people already spent all their Christmas money, it's the end of the year, people were checked out. We're already past that. Now people are at the part now where they're very confident with their money, and yeah, they're making the sales. Like a lot of people are making sales right now. The money is coming back, so it's a great time in January. Let's see here. I appreciate the like. Thank you. That means a lot. All right. Let's do this. Let's see what the next painting is. It's it's a problem if pretty soon within a month or so they ban my YouTube channel because I'm giving y'all too much information on how to free yourself. And it's a problem. They're like, just turn his account off. Let's say he violated policy. The channels that do well is the ones that tell you that you got to be a broke artist. All right, look at this. We're going to be doing a wolf right here. This is going to be a fun one. This one's going to be a fun one right here because at least you're going to know how I go about when I do paintings like this, like a wolf, right? Some people might look at this and they'd be like, "Oh, there's parts of it that look a little too detailed, or it's a little bit too like, oh, I don't know how to approach it, or I'm skeptical." Like I'm going to show you how to go about this, and you're not going to have any fear at all. Let's start off with our background, so at least we can have the background color that's there, and there's no holes that's in our painting. You posted one today, but it was detailed. How long did it take you? All right. That looks good. Boom. Let's try this off. Water break. Always have your water near you. Make sure you stay hydrated. Also, one of the things that I do, I drink a lot of water, but the first thing that I do when I come into the studio is I have electrolyte, like salt packs, and I'll add it into a bottle or a water bottle, and then I'll drink that first just to get the electrolyte in my system, and it can make sure that your brain is not stuck to your skull. All right, it's a little trick right there, so that way makes you a little bit smarter right there. Most of the times we're dehydrated. Yes, yes, I know that I can multi-stream on several platforms. I'm gonna set that up this weekend or today. It's just that I wanted to get out the first full. I wanted to get the first week out. I wanted to get the first week out before doing the changes. But now that this is the last stream of the week, I'm going to be able to do everything like that. So on Monday, when we have our new schedule, that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 a.m. New York time, Eastern Standard. Then I'm going to have everything on there. I think I'm gonna go for Rumble, Kick, X, formerly known as Twitter, and I think that's it. If there's some other ones out there that's popular that I should go for, leave me a comment on here which one. But I'm gonna go for those three. So it's gonna be Rumble, X, and Kick so far. Um, I don't know if I can do Twitch at the same time. If I can, then I'll add that as well. But I'm gonna add all that this weekend. Thank you for saying that. Oh, TikTok, you could do TikTok lives. I didn't know that TikTok you could do. I didn't know you could do TikTok lives. I thought TikTok was like shorts. I didn't know they had a live feature on there. If they do, then I'll definitely do that. I think for live though, I have to have enough followers or so, but I don't have that many follow. I think I'm like almost there. I think you need to have 50 followers or something. That's the guideline. I'll look into it, but maybe I'm almost there because I do post my shorts over there, like the shorts that are like less than 2 minutes or so. I always had them simultaneously go over there from where they post on YouTube, and then they go over to TikTok. And I checked it yesterday for the first time, and I've been getting a lot of good reception over there from people, and I think that's awesome. So I have to see the guidelines if I'm up to the metrics yet to be able to do it. Twitch has a pretty big art following. Yeah, so I'll see if I can do that at the same time too. If I could simultaneously go on Twitch. All right. So when it comes to these type of paintings, the first thing that I'm going to do is go into the black. So I'm just going to go into the black areas, and I'm going to build up our foundation of the black. That's our fundamental. And look, I'm just going to go squiggy, 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 squiggy. Underneath. Squiggy, squiggy, squiggy. Squiggy, squiggy. Squiggy. Let's see here. Close to the Heart says that I had an art teacher in high school tell me that there was absolutely no difference in famous painters and the average human. He said every single human on the planet is a creator. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That must be a that's a phenomenal teacher. See, that must have been a while ago because teachers nowadays, they're not allowed to say stuff like that. They'll get fired if they give kids hope and they say stuff like that. They're not allowed. The current day teachers are not allowed to say stuff like that. You get fired if you said stuff like that to kids. That because that's what I say. But I mean, I said that because I didn't hear it from anybody else. I said it because I know that God I know that God is through the motion of art. Like the closest thing to God at times they say is through painting or through art. And it's so true because I don't know what I'm doing. And we're all creators, is what I say. It even says so in the Bible that we were made in the image of the creator. So the God is already inside of us. A lot of times people think that it's just external, and it's not. It's also eternal. And if you know that, then there's nothing that's impossible with God. A lot of times people think that our numbers are or whatever, or we can't do something. But if you know that the God and the creativity is inside of you as well, then you're also capable of everything. It was in 1985, exactly. Yeah, you had a great teacher. Yeah, see, they won't teach that nowadays. They can't say that. And the teachers nowadays, they're younger, and they don't know that. They don't know that themselves because they weren't taught that. They don't believe in themselves. It's a great teacher. And it's so true. Let me read that again. I had an art teacher in high school tell me that there was absolutely no difference in a famous painter and an average human. He said that every single human on the planet is a creator. Because that's so true. That's what we're here for. We're here to be creators, either creators of life, creators in opportunities, creators in giving people hope and create, like we're here to create. We were made in the image of the creator. So it's like I just I people get this whole notion. Like, imagine if you told somebody right now and you told them, yeah, I'm just as good as Picasso or whatever artist. People would try to shun you down and say, no, you're not that. And it's like, yes, you are. And you don't have to go to art school, or there's nothing special. It's already inside of you. And once you know that you're already a superhero, then you can have the belief in you, because nothing is impossible with God. It's already there with you. But they take that power away from you and have you not either forget about these things that you're a superhero, or they don't want to tell you. Exactly. 210. We are the masterpieces in the making, God's handiwork. Beautiful. Thank you for putting that there. Thank you. I'm going to write that down. We are the masterpieces in the making. We are God's handiwork. That is a great teacher. And think about it. So that was in 1985 in high school. And that is the principle, that is the foundation of my channel. Even when you first see me for the first time, these are the things that I instill. These are the things that I say. That way, it's nothing special. I always say, I didn't go to art school. I don't know what I'm doing. This is never going to be an art class. It's never going to be an art class, because the creator is already inside of you. You're already a creator. This is already us. That's why a lot of times when I do art, I don't know what I'm doing, but it always turns out beautiful. I don't know how I'm doing these things. I know how I'm doing it because God is already inside of us. All right, so now on this one, I'm just going to dry this off a little bit, and then I'm going to work on top of the layer, because I don't really like painting too much on wet black. One of my all-time favorite quotes by the late Stephen Prefontaine, he says that to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. Exactly. We were all given the gift. Or another one is like, we are all walking in God's avatar. We are all living and walking in God's avatar. So give it your best. Everything else we can't control, and it will be fine. Definitely, we are creators here to create and make the world a better with lifting up art. Yeah, not even just art in general, just anything in life. All right, so now I'm going to go for the mouth first. Look at this. Boom. I wish I had a teacher like that. They're not paid to tell students to believe in themselves, or you lose your job. It's kind of like the joke that we were making prior, right? When we were talking about, like, they're having secret society meetings about us. This Corbellic guy, he's giving them too much hope. He must be stopped. They're out there making money. But what are we supposed to do? Tell them their art sucks and that it's devaluing the market. Tell them that no one's going to take them serious, and they get back out to the art fairs and pass out newsletters. but they're not listening. Tell them their leader is a fraud. He wants your money. Hey, Discerning Light, happy to have you here. Happy that you're back. Good morning, or no, it's afternoon for everybody now. Or even if you're across the pond, it's like late at night. LA here. Yeah, I'm in LA as well. All right. It always works out. I think this is going to be the last painting, depending on what the next reference is, depending on how I feel about the next reference. I forgot to bring my breakfast today, so I need to get some energy in me. Normally, what I have for breakfast, or what I've been having for a while, is I make overnight oats with like strawberries, raspberry, blueberries, and it's always a good quick pick me up, healthy, but also fills you up for the day. It's easy for me to just grab and bring to the studio after I leave the gym. But I didn't have it today because I only made so many. Got the water right here. All good. All right, let's see here. Let's go with the top of the mouth. Boom. Let's go with the eye. I don't know. Thank you, Zinjin, for the super chat. I appreciate you. That means a lot. Always coming in with the love. Even if it's a little bit, I appreciate it. It goes a long way. Let's see here. This week's gone by quick, or maybe it's gone by quick because we were doing these live streams together, which is amazing. The thing also is why it's important, so you can work and just get the work done, is because the time is going to escape you either way. The time is already going to go by. So why not just do the work? Before you know it, the time has already passed by and you could have just been doing the work. You could have been making the extra money. The time is already going to leave. I've never experienced time move so fast than me working in eBay. Because it will punish you if you don't do the work. because the time will come up quick, and then when you don't get those paychecks, and then you look at the calendar to see what you produced on that the week prior, if you hit your metrics or not, and then you didn't show up like that, then you're like, oh damn, I wish I could go back in time and actually work, because it's not the end of the world. What's the end? Like, to some people, it's like, what's the end of the world? Or that in your mind, in our mind during the time, we feel like we created ugly art and we don't want to go through that pain. But then when it's time to collect the paycheck and it's not there because you didn't put the work in, and the time flies by and that 10-day duration is already here, and we're like, dang, I wish I would have showed up. I wish I would have done more listings. I wish I would have done, like, there's so many times where I had in my life, like, where I'm like, I don't care. I wish I would have just produced more ugly art than not have this no paycheck at all. I'd rather just produce the what I think is ugly, because then once you do that and you get your data points, then you'll understand. Oh wow, they like the stuff that I thought was ugly. I'm in my own way. I'm the problem here. Okay, okay, I'm the problem. I can be making more money. I'm the problem here. Northern California. Yeah, I'm in Southern California. We were talking about, if you already if you missed the beginning, Monday, I'm gonna change the time of the live stream from 10 a.m. It's gonna be to 8:30. It's gonna be 8:30 a.m. We're gonna start early. That way I could buy a little bit more time back for myself, get more work done. Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to stream early. Thank you for giving me permission. Yeah, I think it'll be better. I'm becoming selfish with my time because I'm on a mission to changing my lifestyle to millionaire status, and you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to do it. Just think about your goal of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and how you want to invest the money. That's what I really think about when it comes to with eBay is how to invest your money. You could do anything that you want with the money that I was getting. I was able to make some smart investments and different things that I wanted to do with my life. And you're able to do that too. Everybody is. Then I'm really going to get my account shut off. He's telling people how to, but I'm not giving financial advice. I'm supposed to say that disclaimer on YouTube. I'm not giving this financial advice. I'm just saying, laugh out loud. Still too early for me. Day responsibilities during the day. I catch in the streams or watch replays. If money ends up coming in, then maybe I can cause less complaints. And what I always say as well too, one of my quotes is that it's never too late for us to become who we were meant to be. It's never too late for us to become who we were meant to be and to have the certain things of life that we envision for ourselves, whatever it is. That's your journey. You're wise. Everybody's journey and their story is different. It will cause less complaints. Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Pretty much done with this one. Look how they always turn out. They always turn out amazing. Let me add a little bit of gray underneath the eye, because why not? A little bit of white underneath the. All right, let me turn the light on and I'm just going to hit some areas with the white and then that's it. Time better for you and for us. We can paint whatever you can paint in exactly 90 minutes instead of doing it long because you are going to get exhausted. Yeah, that's true. It says you missed my other message above it. Let's see. I'm becoming selfish with my time because I'm on a mission. That one? Or you missed my other message above it? Cool. Let's see here. Water break. No, I got the water break. I got that one. What other one? I got the water break. I already took my water break. And I appreciate you with the super chat. Thank you again. I'm getting it's let's see to be honest, it's crazy. I'm getting angry and mad about it. What are you getting angry and mad about? This one is my favorite for today. Thank you, Sally Mae. See, and that's the thing too, is like about art that we create. You just never know what you never know what the market is going to be or which one resonates more with people. I'm frustrated because everyone wants to reach out to me now. I don't have time because I'm on a mission to get caught up. They act like I'm supposed to stop and tend to them. Well, you know what? That's also just energy where whenever you're on the pathway to growing and when you're close to your goal of being successful or whenever you're about to make a transition for yourself, that's everybody that's in here. Whenever you're about to make an important transition, have you noticed that you start doubting yourself more or things start to get more a little bit more complicated in your life is because the old either people in your life or just the whole which you the frequency that you used to be on misses the old you, and they were comfortable with the old you where you didn't believe in yourself or you were just, and then they start complicating things. Like, have you ever noticed when you're focused on something or your job, all of a sudden you get more phone calls or like people are trying to there's more distractions. Your husband or wife is asking, oh, you're still at the studio, oh, you're still doing that thing, or you still like you'll get more things that come into your way, you'll get more obstacles. A famous quote that I heard recently is that uh when you have one small mishap, life is waiting for you to make it a constant slip up. They're waiting for that small slip up to make it a recurring fall off. You know, the small mistake or the false slip up, life in the old frequency, or even people in your family, or just even different things like that, it's waiting for the moment for you to make that slip up into a major fall off, and then you fall off again. That's how a lot of people get thrown off. Like, you were so close to greatness, you were so close to being where your goal is at, you were so close. A lot of people fall off, and then they look back years later and they go, dang, I didn't realize how far ahead I was. I didn't realize that I believed in myself. I didn't realize that I could have been something great back then. We always have those stories. You know what I'm talking about? I could have done this. I could have done this. There was this time I did this, but then I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it because there's always a story of why you stopped. And it's because the old frequency is waiting for the small mishaps for it to be the larger fall offs. And it's normal. It's a thing that happens. The ancients used to have a word for it. But the thing is you have to know that usually when you have the most distractions and you have the most uh doubt, or you have the most problems, or you have the most whatever of that short period of time, it's an illusion. And those are the times that means breakthrough is right around the corner for you, and growth is right around the corner, because right before growth uh is going to be the most friction. Let's see here. Subconscious resistance comes up, yeah, and it's also subconscious resistance grows up about we do a lot of self-sabotaging. We do a little self-sabotaging because we also don't want to um look at this painting right here. Isn't that beautiful? There's our wolf right there. But I was saying we do a lot of self-sabotaging amongst ourselves because we don't want to interfere with a frequency that we were having with our family, friends, and that the person of who we were for so many years. And we don't want to make people uncomfortable of who we're growing, because then there's a fear of that if you grow too much, then you're going to outgrow your family, you're going to outgrow your friends, and you're not going to be part of that circle no more. You're basically going to ostracize yourself. So we subconsciously sabotage ourselves so that we can still make other people in our circle be comfortable, but also make these generation curses in these frequencies, these old frequencies, become comfortable amongst ourselves. See, I'm giving you some gems right here. These are things that people pay me on different coachings. All right, these are different things right here, but I'm giving it to you because I love you. Scary to get out of your comfort zone. Yes, Stargate. Hell, I'm the black sheep. I have painted that. All right, let's see what the next reference is. I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to call it quits, because I still have some of these I had 12 by 12 canvases, and I had leftover paint and I smeared it on here where it's just the background of it. And I could use one of these to just paint on top of it real quick, or just do a image on top of it. And then I'm going to use this as mostly the background and make it very simple. You could do that as well. Like if you have leftover paint from an easel, or you're ready to get rid of the easel and there's just a little bit leftover paint, you could just smear it onto canvases, let it dry out, and then you could just do a sketch or whatever on top of it with the painting, and then you'll be done. But at least this way we could get done with this right here. Simon Bull, exactly. Yeah, Simon Bull, exactly. Great work. You are so right. Thank you. Hope my words resonate. And then I always say to people too. I never force my words to resonate, or my styles of things to resonate with people. It only resonates with my tribe. So if you're on that frequency and it's supposed to resonate with you, then it'll resonate with you. But if it doesn't, then I always tell people that maybe you need to experience a little bit more life, or you need to test your way through the fire a little bit more for you to understand the things I'm saying, or for you to go that way. But I never tell people you need to sell art this way, you need to produce art this way, you need to go through life this way, you need to do it this way. I just tell you through personal experience or different ways of I've lived a lot of life. And usually my words resonate with people who's lived a lot of life as well, or you have experience and you understand the dichotomy of the frequencies and things that I'm talking about and how it's authentic of whatever I'm talking about selling art, how to even go about just different ways of life and how to be successful. But your journey is your journey. I'm not going to force my journey or my way into whatever your way is. And I can't force other people in my life or whatever to. And it's okay. You have to say to yourself that it's okay to outgrow where you came from and who you are or where you've been, and it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. A lot of times people feel guilty. And I don't feel bad for people self-sabotaging themselves, or I don't, not that I don't feel bad. I understand it. I understand it because it's a very courageous thing that most people can't do to be successful. Being successful, people think it's just about working hard and making money. It's a psychological thing because that means that you also have to be, when you're at that level, you can't be friends with the same people who you used to be friends with, or even your family's going to shun you. You're going to have people who are going to shun you because you're successful and you're at a different frequency of how you work and how you discipline yourself, and how you have consistency and a structure in place, and your mindset's not going to be the same. And then they're going to say, oh, you just think you're better than us now, or you think you're it's hard for it's hard for most people to go through that. And it's understandable. Most humans aren't built to go through that, where they're courageous enough to be the black sheep, is what I'm saying. I love to put a piece of paper on my leftover paint to create an abstract print. Exactly. That's amazing. People think that as I people think that as I'm at home painting, they can manage my time. Exactly. And but that's up to you, where you have to set up the boundaries of people's expectations. You have to let them know that it's work time, and this is what's serious, and this time is you have to set the boundaries up, because if not, they'll always try to dictate your time, and they think that it's just a hobby. They think that you're not taking it serious. But once you start taking yourself serious and you put the boundaries on there, then they're going to take you serious. I had that problem as well. Hell, they did that when I went off to college the first time and came back. My choices changed. I'm always making shift, and it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah, that's just humans. I mean, it doesn't make them bad people. It's just a human thing. That's why in the Bible it talks about envy, jealousy, hate, greed. These are things that are inside of us. And even just because it's your family, it doesn't escape it either. These are things that just, you just if you understand it, then you can't be mad. You just If you understand it, you can't be mad at the nature, as long as you just understand the nature, but also understand your nature as well. Like I said, it's never too late to be who we want to be. And if you want to manifest who you want to be, whoever, think to yourself real quickly, what type of habits is the person that you want to be? Is the type of habits the person that you want to be, or that is successful? Do they have the type of habits where somebody could come in of your workstation and they could disturb you? Would they disturb the person of who, like, if you could look at the woman that who you would like to be, or how your system in place would that be the type of person where people would come in and you would have the time to, or they don't respect the time of what this is work time, or whatever your hours are? Would they held those type of, and they'd be like, no, they wouldn't. So just think about things like that, and then whatever those characteristics are about this fictional person that you put in your mind that would have these type of traits and these habits of what you would want to have in yourself, become that today. Start having these disciplines and have these things today, and then that's how you become that version. You have to be a time walker. Be the time walker now. Your reality now is not dictated on what your future is and who you are. You can change your reality, but you can also change it by putting in the discipline of the things of who you would want. Like if there was somebody who wants to be a bodybuilder, they'd be like, all right, what traits does that bodybuilder do? What do they do? What time do they wake up? How do they eat? How do they work out? Okay. Whatever the answer is, that's what you do today. There's no day where it's like, okay, I'm going to become this disciplined person and this type of person or millionaire or anything as soon as the money comes in and I'm a millionaire and I'm making all the eBay sales. It doesn't work that way. It's in reverse. Just like what Picasso was talking about, where the action is before the motivation and inspiration. A lot of people think that just because as soon as I win a lottery ticket, I'm going to be a good person and then I'm going to be a smart person with motivated and I'm going to be this. No, you're not. Because no matter where you go, there you are. Your reality is based off of just now, today. Let's see what we have here in the chats. They say that with me doing massage is like a hobby. Oh, well, you have to get to a point too where you have to not care too much about what people are thinking. You have to let that go. Because then it's only when you let it go of what people think about you or what they're saying about you is when you let yourself be free and you let yourself go. You forgive yourself. You have to let that go. It doesn't matter. Don't even have it disturb or bring up your frequency. Then you're free to be what you need to be. It's okay. Let it go. Because if you dwell on it too much, then they're correct on whatever they're saying because the what they're saying in their frequency is disturbing your frequency. It's disturbing you. Don't let it disturb you. Let it go. Push forward. Give me a favor and give me some likes on this video if you haven't already. Give me a favor. Give me some likes. Let the algo know that we are out here doing God's work. We're saving lives out here. We're almost done. I love doing paintings like this because, like I said, I use the rough background or the abstraction background as more of the principal color. So I don't paint over it. I don't paint over the whole thing. I need that background. Our modern day Bob Ross. That's an honor. That's dad right there. I appreciate that. When I think about Bob Ross, it just brings back sentimental value for me because I remember just watching it with my grandmother as a child all the time. We would watch it and just him, he just made everything seem so easy. He would make these beautiful paintings and it seemed so easy. So I guess it's like, what I do as well, because it's inside of all of us. We all can do it. One of my favorite sayings is don't argue with idiots. Exactly. So when haters are giving me a hard time, I just smile and nod. Exactly. Or another one is that don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who. Don't roll in the mud with pigs. You'll get dirty. Or you'll never be able to beat an idiot in an argument or someone with low frequency in an argument. You'll never be able to beat them, so don't do it. Didn't Bob have a squirrel as his studio assistant? What are you going to bring? I don't know if he had a squirrel as an assistant. Maybe. You only have happy accidents. Yeah, my whole career is happy accidents. My whole life is happy accidents. And you just have to embrace it because a lot of times you don't know what it's going to bring you. I embrace it because there's no such thing as mistakes then. There's been plenty of things that I've done in my life where my day is controlled by um academics or people who, managers, directors, and they got straight A's their whole lives. And this ad hoc report on this Excel is wrong because the percentages is off on how much we made last quarter versus the fiscal of what we did in Q4, Q this. Like there's so many things like that where it's like it's right, wrong, whatever. And this is the only time I get to show up to work and I'm not wrong. And no matter what I'm doing on the happy mistakes. And I make money from it. How great is that? These are fun. Does anybody have any plans this weekend, either than painting and working, or maybe not? Anything special going on? Anything that you're doing? And now another gallery walk event. Well, that's cool. I hope you have fun with that one. All right. Now I'm just going to go in on some of the black parts and just highlight it up with white, and that's it. Or actually, I'm going to dry it off first. And then that's it. But at least that we have the background there that we worked off of just to give it something different. Finally taking down the Christmas tree. Same-ish, different day, really. No, I feel you. That's what makes the time go by so that's what makes the time go by so weird right now. Where it's like time feels so convoluted right now. Sometimes we get caught up in doing the same things over and over. I should put a Christmas tree up in the studio and just keep it there full time, just a full time Christmas tree, like in the front room. Do you number your paintings? Yeah, I number my paintings with SKU numbers, and that's how I'm able to categorize them and find them. All right, let's see here. I'm going to I'm going to edit the videos of what we produced this week, chop them up so that that way they could go into like 30-minute segments kind of thing for next week of whatever like the topic is that we're talking about, which is going to be pretty cool. And then I'm also going to set up where we're going to be doing the multiple streaming on different platforms, see how that works out. Just like anything else, right? It's like little by little. Rome wasn't built overnight. We just get better with little by little building things up. I use the hair dryer to dry my paintings, but the heat gun is next level so fast. Yeah, it's so fast. Exactly. I used to use a hair gun too for years, but like you said, the heat gun's next level. And it's not even that expensive. You know, I think I got mine for like less than $50. Maybe. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's a Wagner that I use. It's just next level. Cause I mean, even though I use acrylic and it dries quick, there used to be so many years that I just used to wait on dry. Like I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. We work fast, and that was before I even had a system in place of working fast. So I used to just be like, I used to do like a first layer or something, and then what I would do is I would go back. I would put the painting to the side, and I would let it dry. Then I would work on another painting of whatever layers that I need to do, and then I would I would uh I would work it like that until each layer dried, and I would keep going back and forth. Imagine how time consuming that is and mentally draining. Oh, that was a joke. That's too funny. Hate waiting. Yep. Yeah, you say it's a joke. We know your Christmas tree is up. Your Christmas tree's up with all the lights, the angels on top. You still got eggnog in the refrigerator. We know you. All right. That's that. They're at Harbor Freight too, not a Wagner. Okay. I'm going to propose to my Amazon delivery guy. Oh, okay. That's what you were joking about. I looked, really loved the painting, by the way. Great color palette. Thank you. And we're done. All right, we're done. Now I can give myself a mental break. Not bad. I think we had a good stream today. Got to talk about some cool stuff. Got to paint, knock out some work, right? I didn't take a picture of any of them. I'll do that later on. Yeah, now I get to have a food break. I'm starving. All right, let me pull this up for you. Boom. There we go right there. Isn't that great? Isn't that beautiful? I love her. Huh? I like it because we use the background of the paint that we had in the past where we were just wanting to use a new palette. So I don't want to scrape all that paint off and just throw it away, right? So instead, I just scraped it, put it on top of a canvas to lighten it up because I know that I'm going to be using the projector later on when I'm doing these. The last color that I'll use is like a white. And then I'll scrape on the white on there, and then boom, there we have. We're still use it. I think I have like three, maybe two or three more 12 by 16s that still have paint on it like that that I could utilize. Just draw any kind of character on it, and it's fine. It's fine. I swear it's fine. And there we have it right there. So that was our stream. Not bad. We're getting better at it. I'm feeling more loose about doing it. I'm having a flow, and then I'll have even a flow of different things that we can discuss. But I'm also working off of your energy as well. You showing up, you being involved. If you haven't already, please leave a like in the video. If you're not already a part of our cool coaching community where we have all the templates, we have Q&As every week where we get together, where we have everything to set up your account on eBay. So that way you could do this yourself. The art is already inside of you. Like we were saying, the creativity is inside of you. You can do this for yourself. You can start making sales as early as next week. I mean, as long as you set everything up and you can build up your sales conversion, you can build up your snowball effect, you can get yourself out there so that way you can have your own collectors list out there and not have to wait around for newsletters, not have to wait around for the old traditional way of that they're trying to gatekeep and tell you how you need to sell art. You don't need to do it that way. All right. So you want to learn about that, click the link below. It's in the description, but also you can find it in the chat. You can find it everywhere in here, all right, of where to go, and everybody will help you. I'll be in there to help you, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to see you guys next week. I appreciate it. Leave likes. Let me see if there's anything else. What lighting do you use in the studio? I have Keynote floats that's on the ceiling. I have two different ones. So like, for example, if I turn this light off, and then there's a one Keynote float that's there just to kind of work off of it because off of the studio camera, I could turn this off and then it'd be completely dark. I could do this like if I was really working on something that I want to do. This light is just a studio light that's on the side just to keep things like a little bit more light, but normally I don't have it like this. I'll have it on the paint, but you can see right here, if I turn on this light that's ahead of me, and then if I turn on a whole nother row of Keynote floats or right there, it makes it even brighter. So we have everything there. You see how bright that is? So that's how I'm rocking. That's how we're rolling. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Don't work too hard, but also do work hard. The only way that you can get a break at times and you can have the way out is through the discipline of that you earned it. All right. If you earned it, then to make sure you take a break. But if you haven't earned it and you know you haven't earned it, then get back to work. Pump out the paintings, do the work, do what you need to do so that way you can have your way of being able to provide for yourself, your family, make that extra money. And I'm going to see you next week, Monday at 8 a.m. All right. Thank you.